It's a Texas showdown in the postseason, and BetOnline is your number one source for all your baseball wagering info with up to the minute stats, news, scores, and matchup breakdowns. Get the latest game odds, spreads, and totals for the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real time updates on stats, news, and odds. We have everything you need to stay up to speed on each LCS all the way through the World Series. Head over to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Tiger fans, welcome back to Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. I am the Corey C. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an upcoming episode. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, the Apple Podcast app, the Google Podcast app, wherever you get podcasts, you can find us there. Be sure to follow the show and tell every Tiger that you know. And remember, when you support Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club, it all helps the cause, which is the I Love Jackson State University. And we are headed up to the Delta again this year, and we have the PA announcer for Valley State football, Mr. Jerome Blake, in the house to tell us all about this Delta Devils team. How you doing, Mr. Blake?
Hey, man, hanging in here, Corey, trying to do it the best way I can.
No doubt, man. We're happy to have you. Want to hear about the program. I know you guys are excited coming off a big win, 1-2 in the SWAC, but last week, 42-17 over UAPB. We were at the Jackson State game getting the scores, and we were like, wait a minute, this is not the Valley team we want to see next week. What's going on up there? So let's hear it. Let's start there.
Well, now, it was the Valley team that opened the season up. I mean, I'm talking about not personnel, but the pride, the dignity, the athleticism that first opened the season up in Chicago with all kinds of hopes and dreams of having a good season. And now somewhere twixt, as the old folks say, twixt in between, somewhere up in there, something got lost. I don't know what. I don't know if it's something in the water in the Delta. I don't know what went down. But it looked like we had turned into, we'll play the first half of a game, and wherever the game is, at that point, we'll just decide to just let it go. That's what it seemed like, Corey. It looked like we were, I don't know what was going on in-house. Can't say whether it was anything going on in-house, but I do know that between the first game and last week's game, things got really interesting because they were a superb team on defense, period. A superb team on defense. And I'm talking about they came up and made big plays, and they did it for most of the season until, oh gosh, who did we play? Even when they played FAMU last week, they came out smoking. They came out hot. But then all of a sudden it was like, well, we are Valley, and we need to lay down and let it happen. That's the atmosphere that the outsider would get. That's the outsider would get, like, what's up? You can tell that this man has, recruited some good kids. He's recruited good kids locally also. You ask yourself, what's going on? Then you also want to say to yourself, well, okay, he got the job, Wade got the job, and you want to say to yourself, well, maybe he ain't recruited his kids. He had a boatload of Danzig's kids, which to me were good kids.
Yeah, they played hard. Those kids played hard for Coach Danzig.
That's what I'm saying. So, you cannot really say. There's a lot of mixed emotions in the situation. If you're not there as a coach or a member of his staff or of any type of way, it's hard to say what actually happened because it was expected to be competitive. Not saying a winner, but competitive. It was expected to be really competitive, and they just it was like they tapered off, and it was like, good gracious, what happened? But you can only say and hope that there were some people now that he played. He was dealing also on offensively. He was dealing with playing like 2-3 quarterbacks.
Right. I want to talk about that.
Right. He was playing 2-3 quarterbacks, and your offense would come out and have just say the same plays but a different look. It wasn't maybe as quick or as fast as it was because of that particular quarterback that he had in. But now he's narrowed that down to, I'm going to go with 15. Can't remember
like Williams.
Right, Williams. That's right. I'm going to go with him the rest of the way. We're just going to have to get solid and go, whether it's for the future or not, whatever, for the rest of this season anyway. And when he decided to do that, then I saw them play about 3-4 local kids who everybody, even when Danza had these kids, and everybody except one of them, everybody was saying, well, goodness, what, why hadn't he been playing those local kids? I mean, let's just be honest with it, Corey. The man is searching. This is his first year. He's searching. He's searching to try to find him. He'll, 9 times out of 10, from what we saw out of those 4 local kids, 1 kid came from Amanda Elsie, 2 came from Greenwood High School, 1 came from the floor, and all 4 of them scored this past week. And, we're hoping and thinking that pretty sure he'll keep those kids and whatever recruits he bring in, because he had a pretty good following of kids who might have wanted to transfer from Delta State because, Kendrick is a fairly decent coach that we know of now because this is his first experience as a head coach also. So it's going to be exciting to see what this guy is going to bring up as far as recruit and as far as what he keeps there because now he's pretty strict as a disciplinarian as a coach, as a head coach. And you don't hear a lot of funny stuff going on, a lot of things going on around campus about the football players think they're this or that because, he ain't going for it. So It's going to be exciting to see what he has in store for later on. Right now, this year you got to pass this year up as a wishy-washy year because Hakeem had to get there and get his feet wet and really look at situations that he had to be faced with. So when Danzy decided that he was going prime time on up to Colorado, then he's faced with getting a head coach in there sufficiently to give him enough time to do some serious recruiting. And at the time he hired Kendrick, it really wasn't what you call enough time to do sufficient recruiting, but he had a chance to get out there and dibble-dab in something, So no excuses being made, none being made whatsoever. It's going to be exciting to see what this guy going to have in store for Valley in the next couple of years. You take Jackson rolled into town this weekend, and now he done found some team chemistry on offense. He's found team chemistry, had team chemistry all along on defense, just completely, like I said, maybe during the course of the week in and week out, maybe the defense was on the field too long. There's a lot of 3-and-outs that was happening. Even in that first game in Chicago, a lot of 3-and-outs. So, your defense stay out there no matter how good they are. It's going to be time wore down. But now, let's give it the real McCoy. He's found chemistry on offense. Now, over this week in practice, I can imagine what the talk has been. You're going to get rest now, defense. Now, crank it back up like you did in the beginning because he had sufficient hitters. He had sufficient cover people. He had, basically everything that you needed. So say Jackson rolled into town. He clipped Jackson wing by a little bit or a lot, however it be. Then it's really going to be hard. It's going to be hard to try to recognize what this man's future is going to be, because now you got, I hate to sound like we got to live off of whatever we do to Jackson State, but let's just be real. We got to live off of whatever we do to Jackson State. So especially at this low point that we're in. See, Jackson State, I remember when Cummings first came there, they had this big sign these things inside of the dressing room on a glass window at the exit, and it said, "Beat Jackson State." Mm-hmm. Cummings come in there and had them to scrape every bit of it down and say, "Oh, we play an entire season here. We don't just play Jackson State." Now, that year, that was his first year. When he did that, he didn't even preach Jackson State to his kids, and he beat Jackson State that year at Jackson. Never will forget it. And that's what any coach at Valley's got to do. You know that you inside of your coaching staff, you can live on whatever you do to Jackson. But you need to take away from the fact, out of the kids' mind, that, hey, your only game that's going to mean something is if you beat Jackson State. And when Jackson come down there and let that hammer down and bring that lumber with them, and you can't build a house out of it, that means they're going to run the scores up on you. And if they do, then, you know, wherever you are in that season, it's been dejected, and you don't even know what the future's going to be like next year. But let's just say he played Jackson close, or he beat Jackson. You're going to have not only the fans, you're not only going to have inside his coaching staff, but now his kids are going to start to believe. Let's just be real. Let's be real. You know, we have to just actually tell the truth. You know, we actually live off whatever happened to between us and Jackson. That's the reason I've always said, I'm glad you don't play Jackson the first game of the year. The way our mindset is. You play Jackson first game of the year and they put up numbers on you, you can forget the rest of the season. So, knowing that Jackson coming into town, the excitement in the air, everybody's all, you know, we had homecoming this past week. We still got homecoming again this week.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you got homecoming this week because the bleachers are going to be, they were decently crowded, and you had a lot of people. You had maybe 10,000 people tailgating throughout the game, and you had bleach pack. You'll have that same action this week. See, so it surprised me how they took Pine Bluff over like they did.
That surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I can be honest with you. I saw a lot of different personnel. He went with that quarterback. He played those local kids. Now, the running back situation, he stayed with this kid 2. And Thomas, the kid 17. Now, Thomas is a bruiser. He's going to give you what Marino Casson used to call 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He's going to give you that. If you fourth and 1 on your own 10, you can guarantee getting that first down with this boy. Two is a good back. He started the season off, and I think he really learned what HBCU football was all about. He don't run as hard as he used to. But now the fresh kid is the kid Fant, kid that came from Amandale. Everybody's been waiting to see whenever Valley State was going to play this boy. And they've been playing him on kickoff. He's been going down making nice hits. They've been playing him here and there. And his freshman year, he tore his knee up, but he still got the same speed. Mm-hmm. So they played him, tossed it to him one time, picked up 10 yards. We hadn't seen a back pick up 10 yards on one play probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time they gave it to him in the second half, he hit off tackle. When he got outside, 65 yards later, Pine Bluff still looking for this kid. This kid, I'm talking about, he got explosions. His senior year at Ells, I never will forget. I saw him play a ball game, and that's the reason everybody's been so on their toes about when are they going to give this boy a break. This boy rushed 400 yards and 6 touchdowns against Winona, and Winona was the top team in 3A in the North that year. And we've been wondering why hadn't he been, why didn't Dan's and them play him? So you got to see where I'm coming from when I talk about Kendrick and his coaching situation. He's searching. So he gave Vance the break this week. He finally gave him a break, and this boy shines. The kid, wide receiver from Greenwood High School, we had a kid back a couple of years, Booker T. Chambers. I don't know if you remember him, number 1. He's a return man, Wildcat back. Valley, I'm talking about this, he played at Valley Valley. It's been now about 2.5, 3 years ago. About 3 years ago. Well, his little brother is there. The brother a little taller and a little faster and just as talented. He's been begging for him to, all season he's been beating his people. Against FAMU, they scored 1 touchdown. He didn't score it, but they threw it long on him, beat this kid by 10 yards, and failed on the 5, and they pushed it in. It's just, so many things that he's putting odds and ends together. And I'm hoping that he's seeing what I'm seeing and everybody else is seeing. Because that group of kids woke up for him.
Similar situation at Jackson State. We have the new first-year coach, and you have to come in, and there's roster turnover whenever there's a new coaching staff. And our team has been kind of up and down, inconsistent. So it sounds like the Valley team has been a little bit inconsistent as well. And the offense really struggled all season prior to last week. 21 points was the most the offense has scored all year going into their game. But they were able to double that. So what would you say clicked on offense all of a sudden last week?
What clicked on offense, the first thing I want to say, and I'll go right back to what I just said, you made a personnel change and stayed with that. You took that boy 15 and stayed there. No matter what happened, no matter how many he may have overthrown or underthrown, didn't throw no picks, but you played. You had a game plan and you stuck with it. See, we didn't seen 3-4 different quarterbacks, a whole truckload of backs, the wide receivers. I would call wide receiver name out and said, "Where this boy come from?" Well, he's searching. Now, the other day, I had the opportunity to call wide receivers names out 2 to 3 times because, like I said, his personnel that he had in the ball game, he was set with it, and you could tell. You could tell the difference.
Yeah, the new quarterback has definitely sparked the offense. Tijerian Williams, we talked about him. He's just a freshman. He went 19 for 29 for 265 and 3 touchdowns. So I think they definitely found the quarterback of the future. He's a big kid, 263, 240. So just from your standpoint, what makes him so special?
What makes him special is this. For the basics, he can see. He's able to see over this offensive line. Now, a lot of times when you got quarterbacks and you don't give that offensive line a chance to have a chemistry with that one quarterback, and you got one quarterback may come in and way to block guys. One quarterback may come in, man, y'all need to stick to your man. One quarterback may come in, hey, if y'all, I tell you what, if they'll block, he might tell the back, if they'll block, I can get to your wide receiver, but they ain't blocking, I'm going to break and run myself. You never know the conversation that's going on at practice, the conversation going on in the game. But this kid, from just the looks of it, he's got a rapport with his offensive line. You can see when he breaks the huddle, everybody spreads out, and he'll walk up and he's saying something to them because all of them are steady turning around looking back as they're walking up to the line of scrimmage. And they look like, we're going to protect you, man. So when you have a different load of of voices coming at you. I don't care if you're on the NFL level, if you're on whatever level. When you got a load of voices, different voices coming at you, sometimes it gets to the point that don't make you no difference. It goes all the way back to Kendrick Wade searching for that chemistry. And I think he's found it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you look at on the defensive side as well, the Delta Devils were giving up 33 points a game before last week, but they cut that in half. They only gave up 17 to Pine Bluff. So what would you say changed defensively?
Once again, let's go back to the beginning of the season. You can be 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Last Saturday, the offense stayed on the field for quite some time. Now, you get the chance to get out there and play the defense that you've been taught to play without being extra tired or you taking bangs all night long and you got to bring that lumber with it, and you can't do it all night long if you're out there 80 plays. When you're out there 60, 70, 80 plays and the offense is 3 and out, it's going to be rough on you. So they had that opportunity to change that. They had the opportunity to actually change change their mindset for number one. It hasn't been no whole big personnel change on defense. Only thing was wrong defensively. Hey, your mindset is gone. And then when you're hearing it from fans, you're hearing it from other teammates, and you're hearing it from other teams when you shaking hands. Hey, man, don't y'all feel bad? Y'all play pretty good defense, but y'all out there on the field all day. Now, you got a crutch. You got an excuse in your mind as to why we're not getting it done as a team. So when it happens, you use that. So you play Pine Bluff. Offense get off their hunches and do what they was doing, what they supposed to do, and getting first down. Now you realize that you are nearly fresh the entire ball game, and now you can get up and play because you're not playing no more than 50 plays a game for this particular game. So it wasn't a whole lot of we're gonna change this defense from a 34 to a 45 cover sky blue because they like to throw the defense, throw the football, and we're going to change it because it wasn't none of that. It's same defense. Same defense they've been playing all season long. It's just the fact that, go back to Kendrick Wade, he's searching. And due to him searching, the kids now, everything is kind of being put in place. Now the kids realize what it's meant by the fact that you got to do your part, offense. An offensive lineman, Corey, I want you to never forget this. An offensive lineman is supposed to be the most well-conditioned athlete on the field. Everybody thinks it's quarterbacks, backs, wide receivers. Walter Payton, if he was here, he would tell you the same thing. Pete, my oldest brother went to Jackson State. He didn't play football with him, and they were roommates when he first went down there. And I've been knowing him. I knew him just about all my life. When I was a teenager, and I had the opportunity to hang out a lot with him. Him, Eddie, all of them, and his sister Pam. So he'll tell you the same thing. That's got to be the most conditioned fella on the entire football team. He said because offense need to be on the field at least 75% of a game in order for a team to be successful. And what makes that happen is those 5 guys and that tight end or that double tight. But those 5 guys are the ones who are going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen. And they got to bang all night. They got to go up against people such in the likes of an Ndamukong Suh and all of those $1 million pass rushers. Those guys ain't been Micah Parsons. You got to go up against these type of guys. And you still got to stay out there all night long. Kent Hull was my best friend. We used to talk about it all the time, late at night. And he would tell me, he said, and I don't mean you got to cut somebody because they whooping you, because I got the worst whooping in the world from Joe Klecko. I cut Joe Klecko, and he had bad knees. He didn't even worry about making Thurman Thomas rush for 200 yards against the Jets because Joe Klecko wouldn't tackle him. He just said he wanted to beat on me, and he beat on Kent Hull the whole ball game. See, I'm just giving you the point as to what should take place in order to be successful. And Kendrick and them are finding that niche as a young staff. Maybe a little late in the season, whatever the case may be, but still, that niche that they need to find, they're beginning to find it little by little, and he's doing it with personnel. He's getting his personnel and putting them in order.
Gotcha. Well, the big win, obviously celebrating homecoming, and then with Jackson State coming into town, which is always the big game for Valley. I would imagine the confidence of the team is at an all-time high. So we'll get you out of here on that one. Talk about where you think the confidence is with this team right now.
Right now, it's riding. It's basically almost riding right on 100%. I'm gonna be honest with you. It ain't very much to say. It really ain't very much to say because now you got naysayers even at Valley. You got naysayers in the kids' ear with, "Hey man, Pine Bluff wasn't no good. Mm-hmm. Pine Bluff ain't beat nobody. Pine Bluff ain't this. Pine Bluff ain't that. They got a first-year coach too. Pine Bluff just from the way it looks, they just as sorry as Valley is. You know, they were putting these type thing in the kids' ear, and it's going to be up to Kendrick. It's going to be up to the rest of those coaches to battle that by telling the kids they already saw the kids how they were. You see, I mean, big fight like broke out right before the ball game. They was out there warming up. It wasn't even warm-up time. They was out there in just a T-shirt, and the coaches had to run out there with the highway patrol and come down between. They never did pass fixing nothing. But you could tell Valley's kids were kind of fired up. So they are going to be, that confidence level, it's through the roof. It's through the roof. I'm going to be honest with you. It's through the roof. The group of kids that they're going to have is going to be probably a group of kids that he's going to live with the rest of the season. And so far, like I said, he's put that niche in there. He's looked like he's found. It's not all up part of what he's looking for.
Absolutely. I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. We're definitely looking forward to it. Always enjoy coming up to Itta Bena. And this year, the game will be televised on ESPN+. But, we encourage anyone who can make it out, definitely get out there. Great weather. Should be a great environment, great atmosphere. So that is at 2 p.m., and we will have none other than Mr. Jerome Blake, the legend himself, on the PA announcement. We always look forward to that. So, hey, we appreciate your time. You always you give us everything we ask for and more. You took it back to Walter Payton, so we're going to always get a history lesson from you, so we always appreciate that and can count on you for that. So, again, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you Saturday.
All right. Okay, Corey, appreciate it. Hey, now, Jackson come up there, and we go back to the old Valley, and the confidence don't look like, don't get on your next podcast and say, man, that man from Valley got on and talked all that noise, Valley State wasn't ready.
we won't do you like that. We won't do you like that.
But to my mind and sight, they'll be ready.
All right. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, young man. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, take care of yourself. And we'll catch you next year as well, right back on the show.
All right.
All right.
Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club is presented by Bet Online.